Then we start hearing about it more and more. Since it was the beginning of it, you see, we weren't getting all the information. And then I said, Ray, he came to me one day and he said, look at me, my eyes are red. And I thought, Ray, that's got to be the virus.
I was painting the kitchen cabinets, and that Sunday, was it that Sunday?
Mm-hmm. Sunday's when you get sick.
Sunday, I told her, I got to take the day off. I mean, I'm just hurting.
And then when he never stopped. So when he stood up that Sunday and said, something's wrong, I really feel weird. And then I knew he was sick because he never goes to lay down.
I work tirelessly. I can do just about anything. And that's why me taking a day off from doing those kitchen cabinets was a big deal. By
the next day, he begins with a beginning cough. And that was that Sunday. By that Wednesday, he was so sick. He was folded over with coughing. His whole body was in pain. He was going into night sweats, chills, and then the bed would be drenched.
And I didn't find out I was positive until 8 days later. And at that point, my daughter and my grandkids came over, and the only thing we could do is visit through that glass on the front door.
Friday morning, they said, just wait, stay away from hospitals and urgent care. They're overwhelmed.
The feeling felt like I had glass all over my body, in my lungs. It was awful.
Now I didn't have as many symptoms as that. I mean, I had the feeling that I had glass in my feet, the same thing. Ray was feeling like pins were being stuck in him. And then I did develop a cough toward the end of it.
And when they were there, I mean, I was coughing so hard, I couldn't stand up.
Mine, only 2 nights, I feared things, and I had 2 people alerted in case I was getting more pressure on the chest. But I was so busy thinking about Ray, you just can't think about yourself at this point.
And that's when I was able to call her and tell her, this is what I have to do. I just can't stand the pain anymore.
And that was the most horrific feeling, because they come, they take him, you know, they have masks on, they take him, roll him away, and you don't know if you'll ever see that person again. So that's when it gets a little tough. Yeah. So you drive away, and then you come home and you just wait.
They take me in, and I don't remember a whole lot after that.
A lot of hospitals could only allow 2 calls. I could call them 4 or 5 times a day. 2 o'clock in the morning when I was just fretting, you would call and they'd pull up everything, the chart. They'd tell me, you know, exactly how he was doing, whether he was stable. But unfortunately, Ray doesn't remember this. As I drop him off, the next day he's in ICU. The next day he's being vented. And the last call I had from him was that he's actually in so much pain trying to tell me this is the right choice. And then I went in on the 13th to get tested. And at that same time, while waiting outside the Ochsner Clinic, which you had to wait about an hour and a half, the parking lot was filled at this point. They could only allow 2 people in the clinic at the same time. I got the call that Ray was really critical, that his viral pneumonia had really taken the lungs. He was down to about 15% of lung capacity. So at that point, you know, the doctor was trying to, I guess, prepare me. He said, we have several critical days that are going to come up. And I kept saying, but isn't there hope? And he said, well, there's always hope. But they had given him almost all medications that you could possibly give. And now it was a matter of his will, I guess, faith, and in prayers.
The nurses are my angels. That's, you know, doctors are great. Doctors do what they do. They're very smart people. But the nurses, you get that personal feeling. And I'd love to give a shout out to several of them.
It really did get turned over because it was at a point you couldn't do anything. So the miracle was when we did get the call after he was in ICU for 8.5 days, that they were going to go ahead and send him back to the COVID floor.
To Olivia, Sydney, Sharon, Kim, Courtney, Christy, and Brittany. That's the ones that I can remember. I know there's probably more, but and the one who stands out the most is Olivia. That's who that card came from.
And this is so great. We are so proud of how far you've come, and we wish you a continued speedy recovery. It has been such a blessing to witness such an amazing recovery from this severe illness, and we are so grateful that God chose us to take care of a man like you. I'm sorry. These are the messages we're getting from these incredible nurses. They were grateful to just help us when we were so grateful that every day, you know, they would talk to us and they said, we're going to miss you, but we are so happy that you will be home with your family. We will always love you.